Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, the Knicks have changed the course of NBA history.
Also, is this the worst streaker ever?
All that and more on the way next. Forget everything we said on the show on Thursday about the World Cup. 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the RadioU app. We had JR from Nights on RadioU on to talk World Cup and give a preview because he's a soccer expert. But now I'm starting to question that after the United States' dominant win over Paraguay to open up the World Cup on Friday. I'm just kidding, of course, about JR.
Yeah.
But I do want to know, Allie, was that the single best performance the USA men's soccer team has ever put together?
100%. Totally shocking. I mean, all of us were very low expectations on the United States. And this, to me, was a prove-it moment because I think they knew going in, everybody was like tempering their expectation of this team. Mm-hmm. We have been lured in too many times to think we had a chance and hearts broken once again in the knockout round or whatever. But yeah, no, they came out there and just dominated out the gate with Pulisic splitting defenders, Flo Balogun announcing himself now in the race for the Golden Boot at the World Cup. If you would have told me a U.S. striker's in the race for that, I wouldn't believe you. 4 goals in a World Cup match? Insane. In my lifetime, and honestly, I don't think in all of U.S. men's team history has a team looked this dominant in a World Cup game. Yeah,
this is the best. It's certainly the best I've ever seen U.S. soccer look in a men's game. So now is this what?
Oh, I'm in.
My gosh.
In. Let's go. World Cup, United States on our soil. Let's do this. I'm in.
I'm definitely curious if this is, you fire yourself up all for the first game and then now their heads are all big, and you go into the next game. I think it's fortunate. The next game is against, I believe, Australia.
It's against Australia.
Which won their first game, but they beat Turkey. I think it'd be worse if we were playing Turkey, who had just lost, because then Turkey would be extra hungry.
Yeah.
Australia almost in the same position. And even though Australia won, there's definitely an argument that Turkey typically is the better team.
Yeah.
So I think that would be very dangerous. I still think Australia, I feel like we get a draw. And look at that. I'm saying we instead of they.
None of us were saying we
All
on
of a
Friday.
sudden, you score 4 goals in a World Cup game, and now I'm proud to be an American.
Exactly. Yeah, no, this changes everything. And I feel like that's what we need to do as Americans. If your team shows up like this, day one, 4-1. And Flo Balogun, who's just like kind of a no-name guy, plays for Monaco. Who even knew who this guy was?
Not me.
Scores 2 goals out of nowhere. Now, again, one of them...
And, Allie, he could have played for Nigeria or the UK, and he chose the United States.
Us. I love that.
Is that because he wasn't good enough to play for the UK, and because Nigeria didn't make the World Cup?
They said they all wanted him, and maybe he could have helped Nigeria make the World Cup. But either way, I'm so glad Florian Balogun chose the United States because he made a huge difference. But really, the orchestration was all with Christian Pulisic, and that's what I love to see because Pulisic had kind of, I think, a lot of people were dogging on him, saying had he lost his touch, was he not as good anymore? He looked in tip-top shape, whatever you want to call it. Great form. Hopefully this week of rest is what he'll need to be able to play against Australia on Friday. I
said the UK. They don't have a team. I meant England. But,
the
Pulisic injury, because he left the game early, right? But also they were winning 3-1 or whatever it was.
I think they took him out as a precaution. And he gave like a thumbs up to his family or whatever.
Yeah, but that is going to be, not just him, but like with the extra games in this World Cup and everything, and the heat for some of the games, the injuries are going to be a big part of the story. So.
It's true. Speaking of the heat, I have thoughts on the hydration breaks. We need to talk about the hydration breaks.
Hey, let's do that next.
Okay.
If you have thoughts, let us know at 877-2radio. Radio U, where music is going, 8772. Radio U, we're just talking World Cup, the United States with their most dominant, their most impressive game probably in World Cup history.
Definitely in World Cup history.
Against Paraguay. But Ali, you were saying you have thoughts on the hydration breaks at the World Cup?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the hydration breaks because one of the things I love about soccer, that in my opinion this is the one thing it's better at than our sport of American football. Mm-hmm. Very few commercial breaks.
Yes.
Because of how it works with the time, you get a whole half plus stoppage time with no commercial breaks in a normal broadcast of a soccer game.
Yeah, 45, 50 minutes straight.
Yes. We Westerners decided to ruin that with a hydration break in the game. And I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. How do you know it was our fault?
Oh, I think it's 100% our fault because Fox wants that advertiser money. They want the money for the commercials. Plus, what's the point of having a heat advantage over the Europeans if we're going to let them take a break for water? What is this?
Yes, this is why I'm like
5-year-olds playing soccer?
I don't know who to blame. I think all are guilty. But yes, is it Fox ruining it because they wanted to add more commercials? Fox likes to ruin a lot of things. College football, for instance, they've been pretty good at that. But it could be them, or it could be the baby Europeans that are like, oh, it's too hot.
Apparently,
but they get hydration breaks in every game.
Every game,
even the indoor ones.
Yeah, and even the indoor games, and even the games where it's like it's very temperate weather, like 70 degrees. It's like, what are you doing? But either way, I'm like, okay.
I was so confused because I wasn't looking fully. I guess it was the Mexico-South Africa game, and I knew it wasn't halftime. I was like, What am I missing? What am I missing right now?
When they went on a hydration break, I was like, are you joking right now? Are you kidding me? But yeah, apparently the push for this was by players who had played in recent tournaments and were complaining about, not being able to have water or whatever. I'm sorry.
About not enough ways to monetize the broadcast.
Have you played the game of soccer before? There's no hydration breaks built in.
I don't understand. Here's what doesn't make sense to me, Ali, because I was talking with my group chat about this weekend, is why does the clock not even stop during the hydration breaks? Yeah,
apparently they're supposed to add in that to the stoppage time.
Which stoppage time is another thing this is what we're talking about, how stupid stoppage time is. Because we're like, why don't they it's 2026, just stop and start the clock.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Why do they do this in soccer?
I don't know why that cannot happen in soccer.
And nobody knew, but even the big soccer fans were like, it's just how it's always been done. Oh, well, how it's always been done is not to have hydration breaks, and we changed that for some reason.
Right.
So why can't we just stop and start the clock instead of the referee just making it? I was saying, could you imagine if we had stoppage time in any other sport?
Yeah.
Imagine the NBA finals and the referee's just tacking on time. I
know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. They should stop the clock whenever there's a player injured.
Yes.
Because I was like, in one sequence, I saw two things of like one reason why I love soccer and one reason why I hate soccer.
Yes.
And the one reason was I was like, oh man, all this continuous time, no ad breaks. It's beautiful. I hate it when football comes back for the kickoff for like 20 seconds and is like, back to commercial. Oh my gosh, it drives me nuts.
The NBA finals where they call a timeout, go to commercial. Play, and somebody gets fouled, and then we get another commercial.
So bad. That's the one big problem with American sports. But then the other part of the sequence where I was like, nope, this is why I really don't like soccer. A player flopping on the ground, pretending to be injured.
Looks like he just got shot.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, this is dumb. I hate that part. But I'm loving the World Cup. Can't lie.
It's time for our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't at theaters this weekend. Let us know what you've seen lately, movies, TV shows, new, old. We always love to hear from you at 8772 Radio U or with the talkback button in the Radio U app. The number one movie in America. No surprise, Ali, right? It is Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
Disclosure Day, the new movie from Steven Spielberg starring Emily Blunt, opened this weekend. It made $44 million in North America.
That I feel like a solid opening. I think they probably wanted a little bit more, but that's not terrible.
Yeah, they say worldwide it made $92 million. They say that's about what they probably would have expected.
Okay.
So
yeah, I feel like the hype for this one wasn't as high. Like there wasn't as much like excitement about it. And it's hard to get excited about a movie this year because it's not that there's like, no excitement behind Disclosure Day, but it's got a lot of competition with a lot of big movies that are about to release.
And I do think, I just think our expectations actually as moviegoers have kind of gotten a little higher. Like we really need something.
Our wallets have gotten higher.
Yes, exactly.
So we do need to be a little bit more picky.
Doesn't mean we won't go to the movies anymore.
Yeah.
It just means it's got to really hit home.
Yes.
The reviews have to be outstanding.
Yes. Word of
just
mouth.
has to have a lot of hype like Obsession does.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Obsession, yet again, number 2 in the box office.
It was crazy. I was following this throughout the whole week because this kind of has become my obsession. But if you go to if you go to boxofficemojo.com, they do like latest daily totals.
Yeah.
And every single day last week, other than when the new movies released on Friday, Obsession was number 1.
Wow.
Every day. And so people are willing to go to the movies, but they're willing to go to the movies when someone tells them it's a not miss movie. Like you can't miss. And a lot of people have been saying that type of stuff about Obsession. Like you have to go see this. And people are willing to go when you say it's you can't miss this type of moment.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like obviously that just keeps happening with Obsession week after week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Disclosure Day, as an example, I'm sure people went and enjoyed it. It has fairly good reviews, but I don't know if everybody's like coming back, coming into the office or, school, if you're still in school on Monday going, you guys have to see this movie.
The reviews I've actually heard for it have been pretty disappointed. So...
It had like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. So I feel like solid, but I mean, like for a Spielberg movie though, I want more.
Yeah, well, I just mean like the reviewers I follow on like YouTube or whatever. They were disappointed with it, and so I don't think it's going to have the word of mouth pull where it'll like have long legs to go. Plus, it has a whole bunch of competition coming for it in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, definitely. If you've seen Disclosure Day, let us know. 8772 Radio U. Number 3 at the box office was Scary Movie, still hanging in there, making $14.5 million. And I did want to point out, too, by the way, that The Furious, which we talked about in the weekend watch list.
Yeah.
That only, even though it had almost perfect reviews.
Yeah, 99%, I think.
And Allie loved the trailer. It only made $2.8 million, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that movie was one where no one was talking about it. So maybe it might get a little bit of a push if more people start chatting about it. But I don't know if it'll have the type of grassroots movement that we've seen for Obsession.
You just can't expect that every
Obsession,
week.
very, very rare. Very rare.
Let us know what you've seen lately at 8772 Radio U or with the talkback button in the Radio U app. I've got a TV review coming up. Allie, I hope you have something.
Sure. I have something.
Allie's about to watch something during this song. Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U, or use the talkback button in the Radio U app to let us know what you've watched lately. We just did the box office breakdown, where we found that Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg did open at number 1, making about $44 million, followed by Obsession again, and then Scary Movie coming in at number 3. Allie, you said you haven't really watched anything.
I've watched the World Cup, guys. I've watched the World Cup games. I've only missed 3 games so far. 2 of them has been because of like the timing of them. They started at like midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
One of them was last night with Tunisia and Sweden. But that's my review. I've watched the World Cup.
I don't know how I did this. Well, part of it is my, I didn't have anybody to like hang out with this weekend.
I had a very busy weekend, so I had no time to watch anything like other than the World Cup games I fit in. I had no time to watch movies.
I managed to watch a lot of World Cup games.
Yeah.
A lot of the Stanley Cup final, a lot of the NBA finals.
Yes.
And shows as well. So I've watched, Allie, you're going to love this, the first season of One Piece on Netflix.
Oh, Finally.
Your favorite show.
We have a real fan of One Piece on the show.
You finally convinced me to watch it. I feel like I have to do a retraction because we talked about One Piece, and I made fun of you for being a fan, even though I haven't seen it. You've never seen it. But because Popeyes for season 2 had a One Piece collaboration. Right. And reading the stuff that they were talking about, it was like, this sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I did know this, that Mrs. Hudson really liked the first season of One Piece.
Okay.
And so when the second season came out, she started like campaigning to get me to watch it.
Season 1, so that you guys could watch season 2 together.
Yeah, so she liked it so much that she rewatched and I watched for the first time the live action season 1 of One Piece. And it actually is really fun.
Oh.
And I feel like you could like it.
Okay.
So it's an anime show, right? Like the regular show, it's originally a comic and then turned into an anime show. Yeah. There's a lot of this that you can tell, like, feels like it would be a lot more at home if you were watching the anime version, but I also know that I wouldn't like the anime version as much.
Okay.
Even though I could see myself watching it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's actually like, even though it's anime, it's like, it's pirates is mostly what it's about.
Right.
And then there's some like, kind of magic power, kind of superpower things going on as well. I really like the first season because it's just got a lot of heart and it's a lot of fun. It's funny.
Yeah.
The characters are basically all likable.
Okay.
Which is, I feel, rare in TV. Like I almost feel like many TV shows want you to hate everybody.
Yeah.
And One Piece is not like that.
That's one of the things that's definitely tempted me to watch it so far is like the cast seems really fun. I'm a big fan of Emily Rudd. She plays one of the characters, I think, with like the red or orange hair.
Yeah, so that'd be Nami.
Yeah. And
is she Paul Rudd's daughter?
I don't know if she's related to him. That's a good question.
She can't be, right? We would know about it.
I mean, she's got really blue eyes, so maybe.
I'll look that up.
I don't know, but yeah.
Oh, she looks so different without her hair.
Yeah, she's got like blonde hair normally, I think, but yeah.
There's no mention of her being related to him, so
just same last name.
Yeah.
But either way,
what are the odds?
Right. The cast looks really fun, so I do think I will check it out eventually. I am planning to get the Netflix subscription back, as I've shared, because there's a new show coming out next month that I'm excited to watch. Should I just go ahead and reveal what that is?
Yeah, sure.
It's the new remake
Since you didn't watch anything.
Yeah, it's the new remake of Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some early talk about that.
Comes out on July 9th. I used to watch that show all the time with my mom, so we're planning to fire up the Netflix subscription so we can watch that show together.
All right. And by that time, I'll be done season 2 of One Piece. Because we watched the first season and we've already seen the first episode of the second season.
Okay, so you like binge the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, like in a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I liked it that much. And the first season's only like 6 episodes.
Okay, so you watched it in a week, not in a weekend. Like over a week's time.
Yeah, we started like early last week, late last week.
Okay, 6 episodes, you can definitely knock those out in a week.
It's like 1 per day at most we've been doing. So let us know what you've seen lately. 8772-RADIO-U or use the talkback button in the RadioU app. Last night was UFC Freedom 250 on the South Lawn of the White House.
Yeah.
I have really mixed feelings about it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, 8772-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the RadioU app. Let us know if you watched any of the UFC Freedom 250 last night. Because there's some things I really liked about it.
Okay.
But also there's some things I absolutely hated. Number one, and most importantly of all, that it was last night.
Yeah, I remember you saying that on Friday.
UFC is always, or not always, but typically on Saturdays, sometimes on Fridays. Sometimes if it's overseas, it'll be Saturday at like 10 a.m. That's kind of fun. But it was on Sunday night, which if they started it, they had to wait till it got dark, I believe, to keep, so the temperature wouldn't be too crazy hot.
Yeah.
But then it's going to run late. Like they had enough fights to make it run a very late night last night. And then it got delayed because it's outdoors and there was thunderstorms in the area. It started 45 minutes late than what it was supposed to. So these are fights going really late.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it because it was way too late for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't have Paramount Plus.
The positive is that while some of the fights, I wouldn't consider them very competitive because, some of them were just like, it was not an even matchup.
Yeah.
But the good news was not a single fight went to a decision. every single fight ended with a knockout.
Somebody winning.
Yeah. So that's that's an exciting way to watch. It's just sometimes you do want, maybe it goes to a decision. I don't particularly like decisions because then it always feels like somebody's biased. But like you want a long fight where it's like back and forth and you're like, oh, I don't know who's going to win. Most of these fights did not feel that way.
Okay.
But we did get a lot of finishes, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
The final fight of the night, Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria. Remember, Allie, Ilia Topuria was a massive favorite.
I remember you saying that.
He was undefeated.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you scheduling Justin Gaethje, the American, to close out the night and get rocked by Ilia Topuria? And he didn't.
What did I tell you?
USA.
I told you. John Paul Jones was who he was, channeling here. Which, if you don't know the story of John Paul Jones, he's the Navy guy or whatever. And in I think it was the War of 1812, may have been the Revolutionary War, but he's fighting against the British and a very, very small chance of winning. Mm-hmm. But he famously says, you have not yet begin to see us fight. He's the guy that is the underdog guy. And so Justin Gaethje channeling that energy.
Yeah, it was an all-time fight if you actually stayed up to watch. And he beat Topuria. That was an even fight.
Yeah.
And the only reason it was stopped, it wasn't like a knockout. But by the end of the fourth round, Topuria's face was he had been hit near the eyes so much that he was bleeding so much and his eyes were so swollen that it's just he could not see.
Oh my God.
To continue on fighting. But he battled through that for so long.
Oh my.
It was a crazy fight. So that was a big win. Another big win of the night, Michael Chandler walked out to NF.
Oh.
The Search.
Oh.
The Search got played at the White House.
That's crazy.
Then Michael Chandler got rocked by Mauricio Rufy. But Mauricio Rufy then proposed to his girlfriend at the White House.
That's crazy. Why wouldn't you? I mean, come on. You just won.
But then I don't know if she wasn't there because security and everything, but they didn't show her at all. So I'm like, this is so weird.
So we didn't get to see if she said yes?
Yeah, I'm sure she did, right? But yeah, they didn't. You're expecting her to come out of the crowd, come up and say.
She wasn't there.
Yeah,
he just asked on screen, will you marry me?
Yeah,
okay.
When he was being interviewed by Joe Rogan.
It must not have been planned then.
Yeah.
If they didn't have a way to pivot to a shot of her, it must not have been planned.
So that was kind of a miss, I feel. But then the other misses, okay, it was at the White House, right? But I was like, there's ads everywhere on the ring. That's always how UFC is, right?
Yeah.
There's the ads for steak and the ads for whatever energy drink they're promoting at the time. This one had a big, giant red, white, and blue can of Monster in the center of the octagon. And I'm just like, this feels like this shouldn't be at the White... This should be free of all ads for the White House. And then the other thing was, it was at the White House. The players all walked out, or the fighters all walked out from the White House. Mm-hmm. With Medal of Honor recipients and everything. So it was really cool.
That is cool.
And then when they were doing the interviews afterwards, you could see the White House always in the background.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
One of the things I did see was the shot of the flyover.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, but as an American, flyovers make me so proud. That's an American invention, by the way. To do the flyover, showing our military might and strength in a flyover over a sporting event. Mm-hmm. And it gives me chills every time I see it.
This is where I get to the where it looked cool, but this is why I'm this is as so torn as I can be, because I'm also this kind of feels like it's awesome, but it kind of feels like a Russia thing. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
We're having fights on the lawn with the president watching people battle it out. Just the biggest guys in the world beat each other's face.
The Russians would then go shoot the guy that lost. So us Americans were like, yay, let's celebrate, blah, blah, blah.
I couldn't help but feel like I love this, but I feel like this is the only time we should ever do it, because it also feels kind of really wrong. It feels really like if they did this and there was bears fighting in the ring instead. We're one step away from that.
No, come on.
Fired or Hired on Radio U mornings. Share your advice for this situation. It is a juicy one. 8772-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Subject line: bro keeps asking me to cover for him at work and it's risking my job.
Oh, what?
He says, chat, I've been in this situation for about 6 months and it's really starting to wear on me. My buddy and I have known each other since college. We're now working in the same tech company, but different departments. Lately, he's been slacking off a lot.
Oh.
Missing deadlines, showing up late to meetings, and then he texts me asking if I can cover for him by saying he was out on a client call or something when he's actually at home dealing with personal stuff.
Uh-oh.
Last week, our boss asked me directly about one of his missed reports, and I had to lie and say he was working on it remotely.
You had to lie or you chose to lie?
Now, I'm worried that if it comes out, it'll look like I'm enabling him and my own performance review might suffer. We've been through a lot together, road trips, breakups, even helped each other move apartments multiple times. Hopefully he bought you pizza. But this feels different because it's professional now. I've tried hinting that he needs to step up, but he just laughs it off and says, bros help bros.
Oh, no.
I don't want to be the bad guy here, but also I can't I can't keep risking my job. What would you do in this situation? It goes on. That sounds like the end. It's not the end. Any advice on how to set boundaries without ending a long friendship? Appreciate any insights from you guys. Also, it's not just work. He borrowed my car last month for a weekend and returned it with a dent that he hasn't offered to fix yet.
No.
When I brought it up, he said he'd get to it, but it's been weeks. My wife is getting annoyed too, saying I need to prioritize our family over this friendship. It's putting strain on my marriage
goodness.
as well.
This is getting out of hand quickly.
All right, here we're getting to the end. I value loyalty a lot, but where do you draw the line? Should I have an honest conversation or start saying no gradually? Looking for practical advice from your guys' experience.
Okay.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. What are your thoughts? What's your advice for this fired or hired / friendship situation?
/ love him or leave him. The wife's involved now. This is putting a strain on the marriage.
Love your bro or leave your bro. 8772 Radio U. Calling 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app is how you can share your advice for this fired or hired situation. We have a guy who says his buddy and him have known each other since college. They now work at the same tech company. Everything's been going well, but until the last 6 months or so, when his buddies started slacking off, asking him to cover for him at work, even though they work in different departments, to where our guy feels like he's having to lie to cover this guy for what he determined as personal issues, but that's all the detail we have.
Right.
And then there's also talk of now our guy's wife is getting frustrated with this because this guy seems to be taking advantage of our guy.
Yeah.
What is the advice? 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app.
We heard from Tim. He says you need to get ahead of any potential issues at your job. You lied, so you might have to face the consequences, but it will be viewed as favorable if you come out on your own terms. You might just have to let the friend go. Sounds like he's using you.
Yeah, we also heard from Abby, who says, you're way past having the hard conversation. Tell him to get it together. Otherwise, you got to prioritize your own job and family. And she says, also, if he values your friendship, he'll respect the boundaries you set. And she also says, love mornings with Radio U.
Aw, thank you, Abby.
Thank you, Abby.
Yeah, I think that's really solid advice from both Abby and Tim because I think, you're trying to be a good friend, but you need to have that hard conversation because it's just like you're ultimately going to hurt yourself by not sticking up for yourself and not putting your foot down. Mm-hmm. He asked the question in his email, like, am I enabling him? Yeah, you kind of are already. You don't want to enable him. And a lot of people don't even realize when they're enabling people, but you kind of are. You're allowing him to get away with this slacking off and, you're lying for him. So you've already enabled some pretty bad behavior. And again, I don't think that technically poorly reflects on you, like makes you look bad. It's just one of those things where you're trying to help a friend, but this friend is a little bit of a leech, like a parasite almost, and you can't let this keep going to risk your job and your own family. You have to prioritize that.
Here's what I do want to know is you're talking about like he's at home dealing with personal stuff. I want to know what that means.
Yeah.
Does that mean a Wednesday morning hangover? Or does it mean that his mom is dying?
Right. Like what is it?
Or does he have a Wednesday morning hangover because his mom is dying? Like I feel like there's context needed there, but the fact that you didn't say he's dealing with his mom dying makes me feel like it's not anything that's that major that you should have to and again, if it was that major, he would just say something probably at work.
Right.
So I feel like you shouldn't be covering for him because it doesn't sound like there's, there could be scenarios where you might want to.
Yeah. But for 6 months?
It doesn't sound like this.
Yeah.
Also, I don't understand why your boss is asking you what he's doing when you guys are in different departments and why you would feel the need to answer. You can just say, if you don't want to sell him out, but also not want to feel like you're lying, just go, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Maybe chat with him.
I'm not my brother's keeper.
Right.
And
you're not even brothers. You're just bros.
Yeah.
You're just like friends or whatever.
So then your conscience can be clear with him. If he ever asks you, hey, did you tell him that I wasn't working on the thing? You could be like, I said, I don't know, because you don't.
Yes.
And here's the last thing. What I do know is you don't want to lose a friend after you guys are out of college. I know that he's putting you through some stuff right now. I feel like you can set some boundaries. You should have some talks with him. But I wouldn't just, you can't just go to the friend store after you graduate college and find new friends. There's not Tinder or Hinge for friends. And so if you lose this guy, you might be a little more patient with him than you would be with, if you were dating somebody or if it was just another coworker, because it's not easy to find friends when you're a guy after you grow up.
Yeah, it's true. I would hope that you don't lose the friendship. But like we said, if he doesn't respect those boundaries, you might have to lose the friendship because you can't keep doing this, risking your job and all of that. And to me, the real telling comment that he put in his email is the bros help bros thing. Yeah. That feels very college or even high school to say something like that. Mm-hmm. And so it just sounds like you've grown up, you've matured in your life, you're married and all of this. And maybe this guy hasn't. Maybe he's still stuck in college age life.
If you ever have a fired or hired situation, email mornings@radiou.com and we'll be happy to help. Did you see potentially the worst streaker of all time at the U.S.-Paraguay soccer game on Friday night, 8772?
I don't think I saw this.
Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. I can send the video of this, but fair warning, there are people cursing in it. But just text streaker to 8772 Radio U. This was at SoFi Stadium in California this weekend. The U.S. playing Paraguay at the World Cup. And a guy hopped over the wall where he was standing on top of the wall, where the seats end and where it goes down to the field, right?
Yeah.
To out of bounds. And he keeps running back and forth, scooting back and forth along the fence and the wall while still standing on the wall, not even getting down to the field. And so he's telegraphed that he's going to be streaking.
Yeah.
And so all the security is just following him around as he kind of scoots his way, shuffles up and down the wall, or, up and down, side to side. Before once he finally jumps down on the field, he is tackled instantly and gets nowhere near the actual field.
I was going to say, you're just dumb, bro.
Just an absolute failure.
Yeah.
He gets absolutely nowhere.
No, this was just stupid, and he should have just given up before he even jumped down.
He should have gotten back into the stands because there was literally at least a dozen security officials
They're
there
all
just waiting.
It's almost like, the crocodile pit. They're all just
yes, that's
jump in,
exactly
jump in. They're just waiting to pounce on you, buddy.
I'm curious if he had climbed over the wall, if he just went right back over to his seat, would they just have been okay, or would they have escorted him out from the stands just because he climbed over the wall in the first place?
I think they would have escorted him out and probably not arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just said you're banned from SoFi Stadium or whatever. But now you're arrested.
Yep.
You're banned. You're on social media embarrassed because you're the worst streaker ever.
And he those security guards were not taking it easy on him down there either. He was he got 4 knees in his back probably.
Oh yeah. They jump on him.
Yeah, so it is crazy. In the span of like a week, we've had two of the worst streakers of all time, both in the United States.
Yeah,
we're
not very good at it, apparently.
Apparently not. Yeah, neither of them were naked. First of all,
yeah.
That's kind of essential to streaking.
I know. I was like, should we even call this streakers?
Yeah.
Because they're not naked. Which, thank goodness.
Right.
Like, thank goodness.
Yeah. But the guy at the Spurs game, the Wemby guy, he just had nothing to say, runs out, tries to get a selfie with Wemby, fails at that, and then gets taken away. This guy got absolutely nowhere. Like, he didn't even get to streak.
No,
so
didn't even get to the field.
Both just absolute abject failures.
Yep.
Just sad sack losers.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think that of anybody that tries to jump on the field, but this is particularly bad.
And, well, I mean, I said this to Nene before when we were talking about the Wemby streaker, where it's just like, if you're going to get up the courage to do something like that and spend all the money it takes to get in the stadium in the first place for such, I mean, the World Cup tickets are insane, right?
Yeah, super expensive, especially for the U.S. games.
It can potentially, I'm not encouraging it, but it could be worth it if you're going to be able to build a massive social media following or draw attention to some kind of cause or whatever. But these guys got nowhere near doing any of that.
No, because they didn't think this through entirely. Yes. Like, they're just dumb.
But it's also too stupid to be like impulsive. Like, you don't impulsively streak.
I mean, some people have, but yeah, these guys definitely went there and were planning to do it, but and just failed.
A bad plan. After every Super Bowl, they ask one of the winners, you just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?
Go to Disney World.
And they say, go to Disney World. Even though, oddly enough, I don't remember seeing that at all after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? I don't either.
Did they get Sam Darnold or somebody to do that?
They had to have had somebody say it.
And we just didn't see it.
I don't remember seeing it.
We avoid commercials, maybe?
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is.
Stop telling us that you're going to Disney World because we know you're not.
And I turned off the Super Bowl after like the second quarter.
Yeah, basically. It was a pretty boring Super Bowl.
Anyways, that's what they do in football.
Yeah.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. They did the same thing to Jalen Brunson after the New York Knicks won the NBA Finals on Saturday night, right? Saturday night?
Yeah.
And Jalen Brunson said, I'm going on SVU. He wants to try and get on Law and Order SVU.
What would he be doing on there? You know what I mean? Like, what character is he playing?
I think he's definitely... I mean, you can't make Jalen Brunson the creepy criminal.
No, he can't be the villain.
No, he can't be the villain. But you also can't make him the victim.
Oh my gosh, no.
No, so what he has to be is...
somebody that saw something.
Yes, when he's like a bar owner or whatever.
Yes.
Or he's like throwing packages in the back of a truck and the
he's
Law and Order guys come up.
I happened to see when this
Have you
guy
ever seen this girl?
by.
Yeah.
Right.
No, why? Something happened to her?
Oh, yes.
That's Jalen Brunson.
Yes. And the reason why he said this is because if you've been following any of the like social media around the Knicks games, you would know somebody that's been at them and like running on the court after they win. And that is, I think I'm saying her name right, Mariska Hargitay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've never heard it.
Yeah, I know her first name is pronounced like Mariska, but she plays Olivia Benson in SVU and has for years because that show's been on forever. Mm-hmm. And she's a massive Knicks fan, so that's why he wants to be on the show. Judging
by all of the stars that have been at these Knicks games, Jalen Brunson and the rest of the team is going to get tired of being in all the shows and movies and albums. Like, Jalen Brunson should also be on the new Taylor Swift album whenever she works on that.
If there's a new Zoolander movie, he should be in that.
Yep, right. The Seinfeld reunion, if that ever happens. Like, all of this stuff. And obviously, something with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. Spike Lee, something with him.
Yeah. It'd be really easy if they could just all collaborate on one thing.
That would be
just
crazy.
For all the Knicks. But did you also see that Timothée Chalamet said that this was more important than winning an Oscar to him?
I believe it. He is so dedicated as a Knicks fan. Like
he's a real one.
There's videos of him after they win where he's going nuts.
Yeah.
Like lost it nuts. And so, yeah, I believe him when he says that.
The Knicks winning is so fun. Like I said this after their comeback, right?
Yeah.
This is the NBA Finals that I feel like changes the course of the NBA.
It's true. It has that type of feel. I mean, they haven't won since 73. That's like 53 years.
The ratings have been through the roof. The scenes from New York, obviously there was some like bad stuff going on with
but for the most part it's been positive.
Like the people singing and whatever, watching the games on side of buildings, like I'm not a Knicks fan, but I was like a tear coming to my eyes seeing that. I know.
Okay, listen, I'm not a Knicks fan either. In fact, the Knicks swept the Cavs. I should be like anti-Knicks.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I got a little emotional seeing some of the fans get so excited.
Yes.
And particularly, it was the radio announcers, Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray, I think it was. They filmed themselves as the Knicks were winning in San Antonio. And it brought a tear to my eye because it reminded me of when the Cleveland radio announcers were announcing their call when they won in Golden State and they'd never won a championship. And Cleveland hadn't won a championship in over 50 years, like the city of Cleveland. Mm-hmm. It's a big, big deal, and there's just something about it with the emotions tied to it.
Yeah. And it was so, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but just like seeing all the different kinds of people in the videos too, of like, it really brought the city together in so many ways. So
they need that.
I thought it was really cool. And then, I mean, we can get into this too, but like how Wemby went from being like the next star to, he's still obviously a star, but
number one villain.
Yeah, where he's acting like a baby after this and stuff. So that's just going to make it for a lot of fun dynamics going forward.
Yeah.
So finally, the NBA gets a playoff conclusion that feels fun.
Yeah.
This is insane. A gaming reporter, Tom Henderson, claims that the budget for the new Gears of War E-Day coming out later this year is about $400 million.
Oh my gosh.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. That is so almost $500 million on a video game. That's like, there's hardly any movies that get that kind of budget.
I was going to say that's like doubling the budget for the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I think more than doubling the budget. Just like straight up production budget. That doesn't include advertising. But like the Odyssey, like the biggest movie we're going to see in a very, very long time.
It is. And
crazy.
When you think that the new Gears of War, also according to this report, was going to be released on PlayStation 5 as well as on Xbox and PC. But just a few weeks ago, according to this report anyways, that idea was canceled.
No,
and so now it's going to be an Xbox and PC exclusive, which you understand why they would do that, because Microsoft was talking recently about like they need to have more exclusive releases again.
Yeah.
But that cuts off a massive chunk of people that could be spending money on this very expensive game.
I was going to say most people I know use PlayStation, not Xbox, so that does limit.
But maybe that's because PlayStation gets more exclusive releases.
Games.
Yeah.
So Xbox is like, we got to get in on this.
Yeah. It is crazy to think.
Although I guess most gamers I know now do PC. They don't actually do console very much.
I just think, Gears of War is one of my favorite series of all time. But obviously they made several Gears of War. It's very popular. But to think that it could warrant a $400 million budget, that they think they could make that back.
Yeah. Has any other games been made with a budget like this? Other than maybe like, is GTA going to have a budget like this?
They could spend $400 million on that by accident just because it's taking so long.
It's taking so long. Yeah. So that's just payroll. All the people they're paying. But and all the hours they've racked up trying to build that game. How long has it taken Gears of War E-Day to be made?
It's been a while, but it's nowhere near.
As long.
It's been a while since they put out the last Gears of War as well, but it's not nearly the same kind of weight as GTA 6. Let's see. The most expensive video game budgets of all time. Star Citizen and Squadron 42 apparently have cost over $760 million to make.
Why are these games that expensive?
Monopoly Go is one of the most expensive.
What? Monopoly?
This can't be right?
That cannot be.
This is what Wikipedia is telling me.
Because Gears of War.
The rest of the list makes sense. Genshin Impact, if that's even how you say it. Forgive me, I'm not a big gamer. I don't even know.
I don't know.
But then, like, a bunch of the Call of Duties are next on the list.
Yeah, I believe the Call of Duty ones definitely have big budgets. And Gears of War, like, just looking at this image, it's like a preview or whatever, you can just tell how much money and time is spent on the graphics. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's going to look good. And this is going to, it's going to be a huge game.
Oh, yeah.
But is it huge enough for $400 million?
I don't know.
On only Xbox and PC.
I mean, gaming is like the place where money is pretty much guaranteed, because gaming just seems to be the industry where people still put up with paying astronomical prices for things.
Well, and all the microtransactions, all the a movie makes money basically once.
Yes.
The difference with video games is they can continue to make money for
over time.
Years. Yeah.
Especially if they add things like DLCs and stuff like that, where you can you can add modifications to the game as you go. So yeah, that's it. The gaming is the moneymaker.
Yeah, but it's still crazy to think about.
$400 million budget.
$400 million. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's like four box office, like big box office movies.
It better be good. Think about what could have been. 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. We could have. Think about how the world would be different if we got a Tony Hawk Looney Tunes movie called Skate Jam.
Oh my gosh, I would have lost it.
Yeah. Tony Hawk told this story on the Pete Davidson Show on Netflix.
What? There's a Pete Davidson show?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Where he was in talks after Space Jam, which came out in the 90s, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And Tony Hawk was obviously huge in the late 90s, but definitely going into the 2000s.
Yes.
And so they were, him and I guess Warner Brothers, in talks to, do a follow-up to Space Jam that would have been probably called Skate Jam, where it would have been all the Looney Tunes, roller skating, the skateboarding, and maybe roller skating, maybe it would have been like the X Games or something, with Tony Hawk as the Michael Jordan role.
Oh my goodness. Why was this never made? That sounds epic.
Because around that time, like basically the deal had been kind of like a handshake agreed to.
Okay.
Tony Hawk said he was they were talking about this. They met him at the airport because he was going to Australia for a week. And so they showed him like storyboards and stuff at the airport. He was super fired up about it.
Okay.
He goes to Australia for a week. He comes back and he doesn't hear from them. And he keeps checking with his agent. He's like, what's going on? I thought we were doing this,
Skate Jam.
And they apparently hadn't heard from Warner Brothers for a while. And then eventually, this was in, 2003, when Looney Tunes Back in Action came out.
With Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, and so that was supposed to be like, because that was the first Looney Tunes movie since Space Jam. And they're like, we're bringing Looney Tunes back.
Right.
And that was going to launch it and then have the Tony Hawk movie come next. But Back in Action did bad enough at the theaters in the box office that they decided to just scrap all Looney Tunes stuff.
Which shocks me. Back in Action is a good movie, guys.
I love Back in Action.
I love that movie.
But it did not do good enough. And so that killed the idea of you do think it only made $68 million at the box office.
That's nuts. A total bomb.
Yeah. Even with DVD sales would have been a thing still back then.
Yeah.
And it's still.
That's what I
still had to have been definitely a. So no wonder, I guess.
I guess no wonder, but I think they should have still pulled the trigger on this because I think it would have done better at the box office.
I agree.
Tony Hawk was huge.
What Pete Davidson goes, you still could have done Skate Jam just because Back in Action sucked.
Yeah.
At the box office doesn't mean people would.
Everyone would have lined up for Skate Jam.
It's not that the Looney Tunes were the problem.
No, yeah. And it was Back in Action for whatever reason just did not connect with audiences. And in theaters, even though I think it's kind of grown a cult following afterwards. Like people like it now, but at the time of release, it wasn't as good. And so, like, the reception wasn't as good. But yeah, that should not have stopped Skate Jam from happening.
Obviously, now it would be different because Tony Hawk is much older.
Yeah.
But it's still, in my mind, I'm still like, but can you just make it now?
Yeah, can we please make it now? Because there really isn't any skater that's replaced him as far as fame. Like, there is big skaters out there, but like in the United States, there's no one as like massively popular as Tony Hawk was back in the 2000s.
But the other problem is that since then, it's not that Warner Brothers / whatever, Discovery / whatever it is now, they don't seem much more eager to use the Looney Tunes.
Nope.
Because there's this movie coming out, I can't remember what it's called, Coyote versus Acme or something like that this summer. That's a similar movie where it's like live action with the Looney Tunes. But, I mean, they've essentially tried to kill this movie so many times.
They've tried to bury these films.
Yeah.
They are very against the Looney Tunes, I think.
They hate the Looney Tunes. I don't know why.
I don't get it. They're so funny to me.
Yeah. They just it's just like the Muppets. Like, just give them more chances.
Yes. Give them a shot. The people love the Looney Tunes. The people love the Muppets. Bring them out.
We need to issue possibly an apology, Allie. Again, we've actually had a lot.
Retraction?
Yes, another retraction. Remember last week when we talked about the high school lacrosse team in Massachusetts that had to forfeit a semifinal playoff game because some of the graduating seniors on the team had taken a picture where they were smoking cigars.
Yeah.
And that violated, just having tobacco at all, violated some, I don't even think it was a school, it was like an athletic association in Massachusetts policy, something like that.
Yeah, I think it is the school board policy for the whole district or whatever.
Right. It wasn't just like their school or something. Like they made them forfeit because then those guys had to be suspended. And so there wasn't enough players to field the team. Okay. Yeah. Feel like a big injustice because, one, it still feels like it was kind of an overreaction. But also, they claimed and their parents claimed that they were fake cigars.
Yeah.
They even had receipts to show that they went to a cigar shop and asked how to make real-looking fake cigars.
Yes.
The cigar shop person told them to use tea leaves, and so they went to a grocery store and bought them.
Yeah.
And
that was the receipt they provided.
Yes. Now the investigation was closed and then reopened and then closed and reopened again, I think, because of all the
turmoil in social media, because all of us were like convinced that this was an overreaction.
Yes.
That they shouldn't have punished these kids in this way because especially they were going to be playing a semifinal game.
Yeah.
That's huge.
But since they reopened the investigation, new information has come to light. And that is that the receipt that was provided to the Shaw's grocery store for the tea leaves that were supposedly used to make the fake cigars was bought like 20 minutes after they had been accused, like this had all come out.
After the families received the email from the school.
Somebody literally went straight to the grocery store.
They Googled immediately how to make it look like we got fake cigars and went and bought this. And then they submitted the receipt with a smudged date on it. And then the school, when they reopened the investigation, went to the grocery store. They reprinted the receipt and found out that it was bought 20 minutes after they had gotten the email.
This is all so crazy.
It is.
It's crazy
what parents will do to try and make sure that their kids don't miss out on something.
And that this was so important that the school was like, we have to go talk to a minimum wage employee at the grocery store.
I think the school was just trying to, clear their name.
Yeah.
Because they were getting, absolutely destroyed by everyone, including us.
Yeah.
We were being very brutal against them because it felt like, what are you doing? Why are you punishing these kids?
Yeah. So we were mad at them for jumping to conclusions. But I feel like we jumped to conclusions. But
we didn't have all the information.
We didn't. We only knew what we knew, and we were wrong. Yeah. But I still feel like I'm not willing to completely back down because I still feel like it's stupid that the graduating seniors, because of a picture with cigars, are making the whole team forfeit.
Yes.
Still feels like a little egregious to me.
Yeah, it still feels like a little bit of an overreach. I do think these kids and these parents were in the wrong for not thinking this through properly, because I do think Is it legal for high school students to buy cigars? The parents probably had to buy these,
if they
right?
were high school, if they were seniors, right?
Yeah.
And they were graduating, so they could have been 18. They can be 18. We could probably find this out if we looked, but and you can buy tobacco when you're 18, right?
When you're 18. Okay. I wasn't
I don't even
sure.
know. I've really never had to.
I know alcohol, obviously, it's 21 and over.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the same for tobacco
I think
or not.
tobacco's 21 or 18.
Okay,
so.
I wasn't sure because I feel like vapes sometimes are like 21 and over.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I just have actually no idea.
I have no idea either, which I suppose
I have an idea. I just don't know if it's right.
I suppose it's a good thing because that means neither of us are partaking of these vices.
Yeah. So we will never have to forfeit a high school lacrosse game.
Yay!
Thank goodness.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.